Blank Game Week 29 is here and I may need to play the free hit chip. Help me get this video to 1,000 likes and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Starting off by looking at how my Game Week 28 went then, I did decide to roll the 2 free transfers, which gives me 3 for Blank Game Week 29. I finished on 58 points. It was a poor showing from the defence. I'm annoyed because I made a late switch between Konza and Robinson. And I ended up benching Konza's 7 points for Robinson's 0. So that 7-point swing might have been enough to get me a green arrow. The attack performed a little bit better. We had an assist for Kluivert. Ollie Watkins continues to deliver with a goal and maximum bonus points. And thank goodness I went with captain Mo Salah for his brace 15-pointer against Southampton at home, breaking his own record for the best ever FPL season. He's still got 9 games to go as well. Could he get near 400 points? That would be amazing if he did. So yeah, in a week where a lot of managers struggled, I was one of them as well. I didn't drop too far though. I've dropped down about 4k places after the 5k drop the week before. I guess it is what it is, but from the dizzy heights of 22k in Game Week 25, it's frustrating to now be around that 60k mark. It's another busy midweek of European action with the leg 2 of the round of 16 in the Champions League. Liverpool with a slender advantage against PSG tonight. I'm recording this video on Tuesday, but it's certainly not guaranteed. Arsenal in control against PSV though, and you would imagine Aston Villa as well against Club Brugge should progress. Then we've got Europa League on Wednesday evening, and again there's a lot going on here. Manchester United, Real Sociedad, that tie in the balance. Spurs struggling already against AZ Alkmaar, so that'll be interesting to see what happens in that game as well. And then we also see Chelsea against Copenhagen 2-1 up with the home fixture to play. You would imagine Chelsea are favourites to progress in their tie, but of course a lot could change in the week if there was an injury to happen, for example, and I think a lot of how the blanks and doubles can land later in the season will depend on the progression of these clubs to the next rounds of the competition. So certainly a lot to look out for before locking in any fantasy decisions. As things stand for me then, I've got 3 free transfers. I've got 1.5 million in the bank, and looking at my team at the moment, I've got 7 players if Vandenberg manages to return for Bournemouth away. I've got 3 free, so I can get to 9 to 10 for free. I don't really want to take a hit because I look at the players that I'm wanting to sell, and I can't sell Mo Salah, Trent or Isak because they're definitely players that I'm going to want back, and I've got value tied up in all of them as well, which I think could be quite crucial later in the season. So they're all holding firm in my squad. Jacob Murphy feels like another one that I don't really want to sell, knowing that he's definitely going to double in Game Week 32 as well. So as things stand, I think I am planning on just using the 3 free transfers, and the players that I'm going to consider making way are the Aston Villa trio, Watkins, Rodgers and Konza. The only downside is that Villa probably look the most likely team to double in Game Week 33 should they progress to the FA Cup semi-finals in Game Week 34, causing a blank. So that's on my mind. If one more thing happens midweek though, like an injury or a team going out of Europe that maybe we didn't expect, it may swing things in favour of the free hit. And I'd say I'm 60-40 at the moment for not free hitting, but it's certainly not a conclusion of what I'm going to do. Now, in terms of the players that would come in if I was to make those moves, I really like the look of a few teams at the moment: Brighton, Bournemouth and Manchester City. Now, Haaland and Foden, to be fair, are obvious buys this week for managers wanting some coverage of that City attack. But if I'm not willing to sell Salah or Isak, then I can't get there easily. And I can't sell Cole Palmer either, even though I know he is a sell, because that's another player with a fixture this week, even though he's probably only going to get me a 2-pointer away at Arsenal. So it is a really tricky situation. But the players that I'm looking to get in the forward line, I've got my eye on Evan Nielsen, who's back fit for Bournemouth. He's got Brentford at home this week. He scored on his first start on his return from injury against Spurs last weekend, and Bournemouth's attack is still looking very, very good, so I'm happy to double up there. Looking at the fixtures as well, Ipswich at home in 30, then West Ham away, then Fulham at home, taking us through to 32, is a player that I'm happy to hold for the next 3 to 4 game weeks. I haven't locked in a firm plan of when I could wildcard. At Brighton's a tricky one because they've won all of their last 4 games and they've scored 11 goals in this time, but they do have City up next away from home. But Yakumba Minte has produced 3 attacking returns in the last 4 game weeks. He started all of those games, so I do really like the look of him, and Man City away probably not as difficult a fixture as it maybe looks on paper, so he could come in for Morgan Rogers. And then it may seem strange then to tell you which defender I'm looking at buying, which is Vardiol. City with 2 clean sheets in the last 5 game weeks, one of those at home. Vardiol scored 5 goals this season though. It's more his attacking threat. He's scored more goals than any other defender in the game. So again, I'm happy to buy him, and I look at the fixtures. He's got Leicester at home in 30, followed by United away and Palace at home in 32. Again, a player that I'm happy to hold over the next 4 game weeks. So they're the moves I'm debating making. It's still not going to be the strongest team ever on paper. It's only going to be 10 men at best, possibly only 9. The free hit is still an option, but I feel like the players that I'm buying and the players that I'm selling are for the right reasons. I can't go all in on the players that do have a fixture this week unless I free hit. Let me know in the comments if you do think I'd be better off free hitting than fielding this team though. This is how the team would be lining up then. It's going to be a 4-3-2 with 10 men. Pickford in goal for West Ham at home. He's been a frustrating hold in the last few weeks, Pickford. No clean sheet in 5 game weeks, but West Ham at home feels like maybe a fixture that he could deliver something for me. I've not got high hopes for the defence, if I'm honest, but Gabriel, Vardiol and Robinson all have plenty of attacking threat, and they have home fixtures. Vandenberg against Bournemouth away. He could easily be a player that doesn't even start for me, but I've got to play him and just hope for the best at this point. Into the midfield, I've obviously got Cliver at home to Brentford, Palmer away at Arsenal. Then I've got Jacob Murphy, who doesn't even have a fixture, and Minter, who's coming in for the trip to City. I'm buying him for the long term, though, not just for this week. And then it's going to be a forward line of Chris Wood away at Ipswich and Evan Nielsen at home to Brentford. I mean, when it comes to captaincy, again, it's another tough decision. I think the obvious one for me, though, is Chris Wood away at Ipswich. He scored against Ipswich, a 1-0 win in the reverse fixture for a 9-pointer. Any week without Salah is going to be difficult. Obviously, I don't own Haaland or any City attackers either, so I can't go there. I'm just going to have to cross my fingers, hope for the best and try and survive this game week. I think if I had Haaland, I would obviously captain him. I think Chris Wood is a very good second option, though. I could still play the free hit. Let me know in the comments if you think I should. I still am wavering on it. When I actually see this team in the flesh, I'm like, yeah, it's not the strongest team on paper. Very far away from the template and what stronger teams will be looking like this week. So maybe the free hit is justified, but at the moment this is the plan. Obviously, when I do my press conference stream on Friday, I will confirm what I'm doing, and with the knowledge of Europe, it could be that I've decided to fall in the way of the free hit instead. If you found the video useful, hit that like button, then we're going for 1,000 likes on this one, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back on Friday with the press conference stream, and don't forget to check out the final episode of the season for FPL Green Room as well. Thank you for watching.